So in a lot of my videos, I'm going to talk about holding the right wrist back as we go through impact. You know, that's talked about a lot and probably, you know, just in general on the internet and stuff. But one thing I see people actually struggle with, whether it's, you know, people I use the system with, but mainly people I give lessons to at my place of work. I don't really understand why you would want to take the club back with the right wrist like this. As you can see, that club face is extremely open. And I've talked about the grip in previous videos. You know, if you grip it like this, the hand's turned away, it tends to close the club face. So think about this. You can get the strongest grip in the world. This is how important this is. You get the strongest grip in the world. If your right wrist does not extend, if it stays flat or extended, that club face is going to be wide open. And then we're going to come down, the club face is going to look like this. And then we got to flip at it. So, just something to chew on. If you feel like you're doing that right wrist, you got to load it up. You got to bend this wrist back, you swing back. I'll tell you, if you've ever thrown a football, this is a golf ball, if you've ever thrown a football, how do you start? With the wrist back. You ever watch a baseball player pitch? How they start with the wrist back. Okay? So for the same reason, when we swing a golf club back, we need to load up the right wrist. And not just that, the right elbow too, right? So when the football player, they're going into the throw, they're not like this, they're like this. They get that elbow driving in, right? Keeping the elbow close to them. That does a lot of things, right? Right wrist going back, it actually closes the face, puts it inside. The right elbow staying in, that gets your hands inside. You know, from a depth perspective, if you think about the turn getting the club inside video that I shot back at my old apartment garage, well, one of the elements of that, the hinge, that's the right wrist going back gets you the hinge because that goes along with the radial deviation to go together. Okay. So that's one of them. And then this staying in, kind of loading up, or in other words, kind of doing that, loading up the right elbow, that gets you depth, right? And depth is really, really important. It's a lot easier to play golf with depth than without depth, right? So we want to load this up. We want to load up the right wrist and right arm as we go back. After all, that's what the orange band is going to tell you to do. That's the only way to bring it back is you got to get this wrist going this way, extending. We got to keep the right elbow in. If we don't keep the right elbow in, I mean, that's like this. It's going to feel really, really heavy. The way to get the club above us with the orange band is to do exactly that. Just something to think about. We're feeling like this right here as we go back. You can even do that without a club. So, this and this, mega important.